Imagine waking up one morning, checking your email, and realizing that your dream of moving to the United States has suddenly been put on hold. Not because of something you did wrong, not because your documents were incomplete, but because visa processing for your country has quietly stopped. No announcement on the news, no personal warning, just silence. For thousands of families, students, workers, and hopeful immigrants, this scenario is no longer imaginary. Reports of a sudden freeze in U.S. visa processing, affecting as many as 75 countries, have sent shockwaves across the globe, leaving people confused, anxious, and desperate for answers. What is really happening behind the scenes? Why is the United States doing this now? Who is affected the most? And most importantly, what can you do if your future plans are suddenly stuck in limbo? Today, we're breaking it all down step by step, clearly and honestly, right here on U.S. Immigration Explorer. Over the past few weeks, immigration forums, legal offices, and embassy appointment systems have been buzzing with the same alarming pattern. Visa interviews are being postponed indefinitely. Processing times that were already long are now showing no updates. Some applicants are receiving generic notices saying their cases are under administrative review, while others are hearing nothing at all. Gradually, a picture has begun to form. Visa processing has effectively slowed or frozen for applicants from dozens of countries. While the U.S. government has not released a single statement listing 75 countries, multiple sources point to a widespread pause affecting regions across Africa, Asia, the Middle East, and parts of Eastern Europe and Latin America. To understand why this matters so much, you first need to understand how U.S. visa processing normally works. Every year, millions of people apply for U.S. visas: student visas, work visas, family-based immigrant visas, tourist visas, and diversity visas. These applications are processed by U.S. embassies and consulates around the world, under the guidance of the Department of State and in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security. Even in normal times, the system is complex and slow. Any disruption, even a small one, can ripple outward and affect hundreds of thousands of lives. So why is this happening now? The answer is not simple, and that's what makes this situation so unsettling. Several factors appear to be converging at the same time. First, national security reviews have intensified. The U.S. government regularly reassesses security protocols based on global events, intelligence reports, and geopolitical tensions. When new screening requirements are introduced, consulates may be instructed to pause or slow visa issuance while systems are updated and staff are retrained. This can lead to what applicants experience as a freeze, even if it is officially described as enhanced vetting. Second, diplomatic relationships play a major role. Visa processing is not just an administrative task, it is deeply tied to foreign policy. If relations between the U.S. and certain countries become strained, visa services are often one of the first areas affected. Sometimes this happens quietly without public announcements to avoid escalating tensions. Applicants are left in the dark, even though the decision has nothing to do with them personally. Another major factor is capacity and staffing. Many U.S. embassies are still dealing with backlogs created during the pandemic years. While travel resumed, staffing levels in some embassies never fully recovered. When resources are limited, embassies may prioritize certain visa categories or nationalities over others. This can look like a freeze to those who are suddenly no longer moving forward in the system. Now let's talk about who is being affected. Based on patterns reported by immigration attorneys and applicants themselves, student visa applicants are among the hardest hit. Many students who were admitted to U.S. universities are now facing the possibility of missing their semester start dates. Imagine securing admission, paying deposits, arranging housing, and then realizing your visa interview has been postponed with no new date. For students from affected countries, this is not just a delay. It can mean losing their place at the university entirely. Work visa applicants are also feeling the pressure. Skilled professionals applying for H-1B, L-1, or other employment-based visas are reporting stalled cases. Employers in the U.S. are left waiting, projects are delayed, and workers are stuck in their home countries, unable to plan their lives. For people who have already resigned from jobs or sold property in anticipation of moving, the uncertainty is devastating. Family-based immigrants are facing perhaps the most emotional impact. Spouses, children, and parents waiting to reunite with loved ones in the United States are suddenly told to wait longer, without any explanation of how long longer might be. Months of separation can turn into years with no guarantee of resolution. Tourist and visitor visas, while often considered less critical, are also being affected. Weddings, funerals, business conferences, and once-in-a-lifetime family events are being missed. For many applicants, the emotional toll is just as heavy as for those seeking permanent immigration. One of the most frustrating aspects of this situation is the lack of transparency. Applicants are accustomed to delays, but they are not accustomed to silence. Case status updates show no movement. Emails go unanswered. Embassy websites provide only generic statements. This lack of information fuels rumors, panic, and misinformation. Some people fear that their countries have been banned. Others worry that their past travel history or social media activity has triggered a permanent denial. In reality, most of these fears are not grounded in fact. But without clear communication, fear fills the gap. It is important to be very clear about one thing. A processing freeze does not automatically mean your visa will be denied. In many cases, it means your application is on hold, pending further instructions or reviews. This distinction matters. A denial closes a door. A pause keeps the door closed for now, but not locked forever. So what can you do if you are affected? The first and most important step is to stay calm and avoid making irreversible decisions based on panic. Do not withdraw your application unless advised by a qualified immigration attorney. Do not reapply repeatedly, as this can sometimes create confusion or even suspicion in the system. Second, monitor official channels closely. Embassy websites, official U.S. government social media accounts, and direct email communications are the only sources you should fully trust. Immigration rumors spread quickly online, especially on social media and messaging apps. Always verify information before acting on it. Third, if your situation is time-sensitive, for example, a student facing a semester deadline or a worker with a fixed job start date, consider seeking help from your school, employer, or an experienced immigration attorney. Sometimes institutions can contact embassies directly or provide documentation that helps prioritize a case. Fourth, keep your documents updated and ready. If processing resumes suddenly, you may be asked to submit additional documents or attend an interview with short notice. Being prepared can save you precious time. Now let's address a question many people are afraid to ask. Is this going to get worse? The honest answer is that immigration policies are constantly changing, and global events can accelerate those changes overnight. What we are seeing now may be temporary, or it may signal a longer-term shift in how the U.S. approaches visa processing for certain regions. Historically, periods of heightened scrutiny are often followed by gradual normalization, but the timeline is unpredictable. It's also important to understand that the United States is not alone in this. Many countries adjust visa policies based on security, diplomacy, and domestic priorities. What makes the U.S. situation particularly impactful is the sheer number of people who rely on access to the United States for education, employment, and family unity. At U.S. Immigration Explorer, our goal is not to spread fear, but to provide clarity. We believe that informed applicants are empowered applicants. Even in moments of uncertainty, knowledge gives you control over how you respond. If you're watching this video and wondering whether your country is affected, whether your case will move forward, or whether you should change your plans, know this: you are not alone. Thousands of people around the world are asking the same questions right now. This pause does not define your worth, your future, or your chances forever. The U.S. immigration system has always been complex, sometimes frustrating, and often slow. But it has also shown time and again that policies evolve, restrictions ease, and doors reopen. Patience is not easy, especially when your dreams are on the line. But patience combined with accurate information and smart preparation is your strongest strategy. As we move forward, we will continue to track every update, every policy shift, and every credible report related to U.S. immigration. The moment there is confirmation, clarification, or relief for affected applicants, you'll hear about it here first. If this video helped you understand what's happening, make sure to like it so more people can find accurate information instead of rumors. Subscribe to U.S. Immigration Explorer for regular updates, clear explanations, and honest guidance on navigating the U.S. immigration system. And most importantly, share this video with anyone who might be affected. A student, a worker, a family member. Because information shared at the right time can make all the difference. Thank you for trusting U.S. Immigration Explorer. Stay informed, stay prepared, and don't lose hope. Your journey isn't over, it's just paused, and we'll be here to guide you every step of the way.